everyone, today we're going to be talking about 14 things that you will not have known about Pokemon Go. A lot of these things are found within the coding of the game, and honestly, when I read this for the first time, I didn't know most of it, so you guys will hopefully find out lots of awesome new things about Pokemon Go today. If you guys are new around here, make sure you're subscribing for daily Pokemon Go videos. Yesterday in our adventure, we went hunting for super rare Pokemon and learned a little bit more about how you can find those super rare Pokemon and in high numbers in certain areas. So guys, let's not waste any time and kick it off with number one. If you're excited, give it a thumbs up and let's talk about 14 things you probably didn't know about Pokemon Go. Number one, this literally came in an update for Pokemon Go last night, so it is the most recent thing, and it means that footsteps have been removed from Pokemon Go at the moment. That means there's not going to be 3, 2, or 1 footsteps shown underneath Pokemon to let you know how close they are. Now the reason I bring this up, and I've actually added it into the list just because of the update last night, is because when the game first came out, it did have numbered footsteps up to 3 to allow you to locate how close Pokemon were. A lot of you guys have probably downloaded the game when there have only been 3 footsteps constantly stuck under the Pokemon that are near you. So what does this mean? Well, I'm hoping they're removing the feature, fixing it, and bringing it back in a future update because it's so useful for hunting down Pokemon, and at the moment with no footsteps at all, it makes it almost impossible. What I will do is leave a link down below to PokeFind, which will help you guys locate Pokemon in your area through people sharing the Pokemon that they've found nearby, and it's probably your best bet for finding Pokemon that are nearby you while the game currently has no footstep system at all. And number 2, the maximum rank you can reach on Pokemon Go is rank 40. Someone has actually already hit this level, and it's an extremely high level to hit within the game. If you guys have started to hit level 20s, you know it's starting to take tens, hundreds of thousands of XP to level up, and the grind really gets tough. For those of you guys that don't know, when you hit rank 20, you get Ultra Balls. When you hit 25, you get max potions. And when you hit 30, you get max revives. And from that point onwards, it's just a huge grind all the way up to 40. So let me know down below, what level are you currently? And do you think you're going to make it all the way to level 40? At number 3, we actually have information on the total XP it will take you to get to 40. But wait for it, just to get from 39 to 40 takes 5 million experience points. I don't even think I've gathered that many experience points. I don't even know if I've gathered 1 million experience points yet. So to get from 39 to 40 is a huge grind. And the total amount of XP needed to get from 1 all the way up to 40 is 20 million, my friends. So not only now do you know the highest rank, you know how much experience it's going to take, and it is going to be a big grind. But hopefully it doesn't put you off. I'm going to keep on grinding out the game, and maybe one day I'll hit 40. At number 4, we have a cap for the eggs that you hatch. What does this mean? Well, this means at level 20, from that point onwards, the CP variance you can get from hatching an egg stops getting any higher, which means the CP you'll get from an egg at level 20 or level 40 has the same chance as being just as high or just as low. However, it means if you're going from rank 1 up to rank 20, as you gradually progress up those levels, that egg that you're hatching could get a chance of getting a better and better CP. It just means once you hit 20 and start to get above that, you're all good, because it doesn't matter if you hatch it then or later, you've still got a chance of getting a really high CP Pokemon from one of those 2, 5, or 10k eggs. At number 5, we've got information that tells us that the badges that you can get on your trainer profile actually has a badge above the gold rank. If you go into your ranks and have a look at maybe how many flying Pokemon you've caught or how many grass Pokemon you've caught, a lot of them you probably have a gold rank on because you caught so many Zubats or Pidgeys, but apparently there's a rank above that, almost like a platinum rank. I don't know if anybody's got it yet, but you're going to have to really grind out that specific badge to get it, and I'm hoping that they add in some sort of experience system into Pokemon Go so the badges reward you with XP for when you complete those badges in Pokemon Go. At number 6, it's been confirmed that curveballs, nice throws, great throws, and the very hard to get excellent throws do increase the chance of capture rate when trying to find a Pokemon. For those of you guys that don't know, you can spin the ball around and throw it with a curvature to capture a Pokemon, and if you get it in the circle when it's quite big, it'll be nice. If the circle's a little bit small and you get it inside it, it'll be great, and if the circle is tiny and you manage to get it inside it, it'll be an excellent throw. You'll also get a little bit of an experience boost for that as well, but all of those things will help you with the capture rate. So if you're trying to find a really rare Pokemon, spin the Ultra Ball, the best ball you can currently get in the game, try and get an excellent throw if possible, and you will really maximize the chances of you guys capturing that Pokemon. At number 7, we have a really interesting find within the game that suggests there is an egg incubator that actually reduces the distance you have to walk to hatch that egg, and at the moment it hasn't been used yet, it isn't available yet, but it could be added in at some point in the near future. So for example, it could be an incubator that knocks 20% off of how far you have to walk to hatch it. So if you've got a 10k egg, you'd only have to walk 8 kilometers rather than the full 10. I mean, you can get that egg even earlier. I mean, you can hatch them quicker. I think this is a really cool addition to the game. I think this should be quite hard to get, and maybe you can get them from Pokestops, but very rarely. It just means that hatching those eggs become a little bit easier, especially if you're not getting out and about quite as much. At number 8, we have information on the moves that are available when you're attacking a Pokemon. So these moves actually both have accuracy and also critical hit chances. Very similar to the actual Pokemon games themselves, where if you go and hit a move, for example, with Body Slam, it's a very high, powerful move, but there's a chance of it missing because of how strong it is. On top of that, a critical hit chance as well. I believe the standard rate in the Pokemon games is around 12.5%. It's quite low. In the Pokemon games, there's about a 6.25% chance of getting a critical hit attack on someone, and those features both through accuracy and critical hit ratios have been carried over to Pokemon Go as well, which is awesome to see them taking mechanics from the game and applying it to the app Pokemon Go, which means you could get a really strong critical hit move off in a gym battle to help you take them down. At number 9, every Pokemon you find has its own capture rate, which is fairly obvious. Obviously, a Pidgey is going to be a lot easier to capture than, say, a wild Dragonite, but they also have their own flee rate as well. For those guys that don't know, sometimes Pokemon could just run at you, they'll leave a little bit of dust behind and they will be gone, and unfortunately, then you fail to capture them. It happens a lot if you're traveling at high speeds in a car, for example, or it can just happen completely randomly if a Pokemon decides it's done with the battle. Each Pokemon has their own unique flee chance and capture rate, so bear that in mind if you're up against a strong Pokemon like Dragonite. Make sure you're throwing those Ultra Balls and trying your best, obviously using those Raspberries too, to make sure you're capturing it. At number 10, we have a very, very useful piece of information, and this is at rank 30, so not quite the maximum being at 40, the CP of the wild Pokemon you find will stop going up. In a similar way to the fact that we talked about the egg Pokemon after rank 20 will just have the same chance of getting a high to low CP ratio. Once you hit 30, wild Pokemon will be the same. So once you run into that Eevee, for example, it doesn't matter if you're 40 or 30, the chance of you getting that really high CP Eevee will be exactly the same. And this also links into a very good point, which is when you start off a game at, maybe rank 1 to 10, for example, the CP of a Pokemon you find will be very, very low, and capturing those Pokeballs will be really easy because most of them are like CP 10, CP 30. But as you rank up, even Pidgeys will start to get to CP 3, 4, 500s, and will become a little bit tougher to capture. So make sure you're being super accurate with those Pokeballs. Even the easier captures become a little bit harder as you rank up, as all wild Pokemon CP start increasing. Once you get to 30 and beyond, you'll have capped off the chance of getting those really high CP wild Pokemon, so hopefully you get something awesome. At number 11, we've talked about this before, and that's the fact that all of the bird legendary Pokemon are definitely in the game. In fact, if you capture a Pokemon towards the end of the Pokedex like Dragonite, you can actually see the silhouette of a lot of these legendaries next to them as they're entered into the Pokedex entry. But these birds will be available at some point. There's rumours going around that each bird will be linked into which team you are. So Team Valor, Team Red will be Moltres, Team Mystic, which I'm in, Team Blue will be Articuno, and Team Yellow or Team Instinct will be linked in with Zapdos as well. Currently, we don't know how he's going to be available. It's probably going to be done through a special event at some point. As always, I'll keep you guys updated and stay tuned as to how you can get the legendary birds in Pokemon Go. At number 12, apparently Ditto is out there somewhere. I may do a little bit of a video on this talking about theories. Ditto is obviously the transforming Pokemon that when it enters the battle, it will look like Ditto, but then transform into the Pokemon that it is up against. There's rumours going around that maybe we've caught lots of Dittos before, but we don't realise it because it's already transformed into another Pokemon. But then at the same time, if it's a transforming Pokemon and it goes into a battle with you, it can't transform into anything. It's just a Ditto. You're a trainer, so we should be seeing it as a Ditto. I don't know. If you've got any theories for Dittos, leave them down below, but apparently it's in the game, just no one's found it yet. At number 13, we've got another thing which is also in the game, the Master Ball. But again, no one's got it yet. You can't get it from Pokestops at the moment. You can't buy it. The Master Ball obviously giving you 100% capture rate. I don't know what happens if you miss that throw. If you get it back, I assume you wouldn't do. If you ever had a Master Ball and you missed that throw, I feel really bad for you. but as long as you're hitting that Pokemon, it will capture it. Master Ball's obviously going to be super useful for those legendary Pokemon when they become available as well. So again, once we get more information on how you can acquire the Master Ball, I'll let you guys know because it is the best ball in the game. 100% capture rate, it's perfect. Number 14, currently the coding for all the legendaries in the game means that they have no capture rate. Now you're probably thinking, what? If a legendary appears, it's impossible to capture them? Well, the reason I believe they've done this is that people can't force in or glitch a spawn of a legendary into the game and then try and capture it, because even if they force it into a battle, there's no way they can acquire it quite yet. So basically, it's a system to stop people glitching in those legendaries. If you ever see a picture of someone with a Mew, a Mewtwo, or any of the legendary birds, it's not real. No one can get them yet, and at the moment we're still waiting on information as to how we can capture all of those legendary Pokemon within Pokemon Go. So guys, that's going to bring us to the end of our 14 facts about Pokemon Go you probably didn't know. If you've got additional facts that you think people should know about, leave them down below in the comment section and let me know your theories on how they're going to introduce legendary Pokemon, the Master Ball. Where is Ditto, for example? No one knows. But hopefully you've really enjoyed this video. As always, subscribe for more daily Pokemon Go adventures. We'll be continuing with that tomorrow, do not worry. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new Pokemon Go video.